Hello, David Zaritsky from the Bond Experience. Welcome back. Now, a lot of our favorite brands like, I don't know, All Brown. See, I'm wearing an All Brown Sea Island cotton polo. And All Brown, like so many other companies that we know and love, started out as one individual with an idea. And in All Brown's case, it was Adam, the founder. He simply wanted a pair of shorts, of bathing trunks that you could take from the ocean to the beach to a restaurant. That was his vision. And then kaboom, you had all of these James Bond tie-ins. But you need to know something about All Brown. Adam, as the founder, he had James Bond as his inspiration. He had a mood board and he had terry cloth and all these other things, and he had pictures of Sean Connery from Dr. No. He used James Bond to spur him on, to take his vision and make it alive, and now we're wearing it. Well, this video is about other designers who have used James Bond as a lighting of a powder keg of creativity, to inspire them to create different items that we can all enjoy that have, yes they do, a very Bond flair to them. In fact, the three Bond designers that I've picked are just like you and me. They're very creative Bond fans that have gone the added distance. And in this particular case, they're small companies that are abroad that are just trying to eke out a place in this existence. So I wanted to introduce them to my audience because on top of the really cool items they have that were inspired by Bond, they're cool people. I want them to get to know you in the Bond community and vice versa. And by the way, I've already showed you one of the designers. Check out these pants that I'm wearing. Now, one thing you should know about these pants is they come from a designer that you already know about because you've seen his artwork in my office. He's done some pictures of me, some artwork of me. He's also done some incredible artwork of other co-creators and creators and style icons out there. And he's done some of James Bond and Daniel Craig and moments from even Skyfall. I mean, he really has used Bond to fuel his artwork that we've all enjoyed. And I actually enjoyed so much. I put it in my office. That's how much I enjoyed it. You can find him on Instagram as Maestro SW. That might give you a clue. But I know him as Seungwon Hong. Now, Seungwon is just a great guy, just a good salt of the earth type individual that, I don't know, he's worked for companies like Yves Saint Laurent and Esquire. And well, now he's come out with not just these bespoke artwork that he used to do, but clothing, the pants. And he sent me 2 pairs so I could talk to them about you. And I've been wearing them for the last few weeks so I could give you kind of a style review of these. Now, something to tell you about these pants. And by the way, as I told you, I just paired this outfit very simply with an All Brown top. I've got my Omega sailing bracelet. I've got my Aqua Terra. It's back! It's back and it's better than ever. And I've paired this with a very simple, hold it, no sock loafer. Yep, just like Ian Fleming would do. Let's see how long I can hold crane pose. See, very simple. I wanted to really highlight the pants, and here they are. Now you can see that they're not a slim fit, but they're also not baggy. There is a really cool, let me get up close, sidestep, stripe running up it, because these are almost like a dressed up jogger. David, what are you talking about? Aren't those trousers, aren't those formal trousers? Well, you could tell by the pattern, which is almost like this puppy tooth pattern. It's very inspired by Spectre. You remember the pants that he wears at the end of Spectre? These have a very similar type of look to them and a very similar type of hand, extremely soft. But this stripe adds a bit of playfulness because, check this out, it is a cinched waist with a drawstring. There is no belt here. This is like a jogger pants. And by the way, it does taper down to the bottom, but not so it's cinched. We've got these, wait for it, working pockets back here with a simple button. These are fully lined, which is extremely nice. I did not expect that. But these just smack of comfort. Now, you've got these, what I would call almost extra large pockets. Now, it looks like I'm stroking myself. I promise you I'm not. But I'm showing you that this isn't these tiny pockets that you kind of go like this and cinch around. No, they're long pockets that you can kind of walk around, you can luxuriate in, etc. These are meant for somebody on the go. This is very James Bond. You're getting on a plane, you want to be comfortable, but you still want to look smart. You have to look smart. So what do? You put these on and you're on the go. They don't wrinkle very easily, but the hand is extremely soft. And that's one of the things that Singwan wanted to do, was to make a pair of pants that could connect and move and work with you in almost any scenario. A work scenario, a play scenario, going after work, date night, and he's done it with these pants. I love this. At first I looked at it and I'm like, he put the white stripe, what is that, so Han Solo? But I'm really digging what he did with the design, and it translates extremely well. Okay, but not to be outdone, he sent me another pair which has an absolute direct correlation to some guy named Sean Connery in some movie called Goldfinger. I don't know, are we in the 60th year of Goldfinger? I think we are. So check these out. Prince of Wales check. Now you're going to notice that it's got that drawstring again. It's got that cinch waist for comfort. Look at this. I've already had them hemmed, just FYI, but these are incredibly comfortable. You can see the working pockets in the back, well lined, but extremely light. Extremely light. Like I said, 3 seasons or more maybe, but extremely light and made to travel with you, made on the go. This isn't stuffy in any way, but why am I talking when I could be trying these on? Now, quite purposely, I left these undone because I just want to show you these are literally drawstrings. Yep, it's like, Americans call it sweatpants, other people in the world call it joggers. This, as you can see, there's the cinch waist, but this just, it reeks of Connery. This is the Prince of Wales check. Same soft hand as the other one, same nice, long, luxurious pockets. You could see yourself, again, on an airplane or a bus or in the back of an Uber, hands in the pocket, just relaxing. It's a little breezy, it's a little cool, but I love the silhouette. And I'm taking it walking, so this is important that you see what exactly this looks like in different views. You're not going to see this, for example, in a catalog, which is why I'm getting close and personal with all of the details. There's that pocket that I showed you. But the real thing to see on here is the pattern. This is so celebratory, and I love the fact that Singwan said to himself, you know something, it's gotta be around Connery. I've gotta do something Connery. So a simple thing like Prince of Wales checks, but not getting in the way of what he originally wanted to do, which was to take James Bond, put his own spin on it, put it into a style piece, and then serve it up to you and I. Amazing. He knocked it out of the park. I love it, and I love that the inspiration came from him as a Bond fan. But I got to introduce you to Ryan. Okay, who's ready to have fun? Me? Me? You? Yeah, and you will. So my friend Ryan from overseas has a company. It's called Fair Collective. And Fair is, well, it's a company born out of Ryan's imagination. And some of his products have a wonderful connection to James Bond. Some of them not in the most subtle of ways, but he used the whole idea of James Bond's ability to hide things in plain sight, to have gadgets and pockets and things that we, as agents in our own missions, whether you're a fireman or a doctor or a lawyer or a computer expert, doesn't matter, you have your own armament, the things that you need in your everyday life, your vocation or personal life, call it your everyday carry. So for example, he has this shirt, a gentleman's tail. By the way, cool bag. It's like this sort of a waxed bag. It seems waterproof. And this is what looks to be an extremely simple white t-shirt, right? You're like, David, it's a white t-shirt. Is everything okay? Oh yeah, except that it has zippered pockets that are hidden in the seam that you can hide things in. Now, why would you want to hide things in? Well, first of all, you don't need to hide things. You could put a ticket, you could put a passport in there, you could put a lot of different things. The pocket is extremely generous. You can hold a lot of different things, but the t-shirt is not super tight, which means that you're going to be able to use it almost like a pocket hoodie. You know how the two pockets come together? And there's a pocket on the other side. So the t-shirt starts the theme of what this is all about. But I said we're going to have fun because I don't know everything that he sent in these boxes. I mean, I have an idea, but first of all, the boxes are very nice. I know, we talk about boxes. And I have not opened these up. I've had these for a little bit, but I haven't opened them up yet. So I'm doing them right in front of you. Here we go. Fair, welcome to the stylish functionality. And that's his big lean. James Bond is stylish. But James Bond has to be stylish and also function as a secret agent, as a killing weapon, as a blunt instrument. Same with these products. So you can see the very nice wrapping. We'll take out the box and then boom, right away. Oh my gosh. So it's another bag. By the way, these bags that hold everything, this very nice, it's almost like a silk cloth bag. I reuse them to hold socks, belts, things when I'm traveling. Don't throw them away. Or you can use them to protect your fine leather goods like this is going to be. Oh, wait a minute. Love the sound of fresh paper ripping. Oh, okay, wow. This looks amazing. So this is very cool. I saw this on their website and I coveted this. So let me explain exactly what this is. You can see right here, this is their zip, but it's magnetic. Already you're having like a very cool, hear that? Hold on. Very cool James Bond moment. And then when you unzip this, you have all of these forms and functions in here. This is sort of like a carry-all, but in a small form. Let's say you're going to the city, you've got a quick meeting, or you're just making a run even down the street. You don't want the commitment of a giant bag or an attaché case. This is almost like a mini attaché case. And one of the things that I love about this is, wait for it, it's part of the Spectre line. Yeah, he was so motivated by Bond. It's called the Spectre line. There's wallets, there's these type of apparatuses. And by the way, Spectre is spelled differently. It's S-P-E-C-T-E-R, not R-E. But check this out. I mean, you've got pen holder, you've got different compartments for your cards. You've got this L tab right here, which is great for your boarding passes, your passports. You've got two of these large areas plus a zip, and then you've got a hidden one behind there to put whatever you want, and then what I call a quick grab pocket on the outside. What makes this incredibly unusual, besides all the utility in such a small form, I mean, take a look at this. You could even put this into a suit pocket, and you're basically carrying your world on you, is this. And you're like, what, David, what is this? So this is that. So if you're carrying this around, for example, you know, you have these now on phones, it's very popular, but this almost acts as an attaché handle. So you're carrying it around very easily. You have a free hand, you can still do things. You're going places. You could actually, with this, hold on, you can grab things. I can grab this box, I can put it over here. Look at that. And it doesn't go anywhere. You're not slipping around with it. So it's extremely handy, but it also comes off as well. This is so cool. I love this piece. And by the way, that color. It's kind of like a cognac. Some people would call it a caramel or a chestnut. It's absolutely beautiful. And then that leather, you know, when you open that box and you smell that. But not to be outdone, I see another box. Aha! All right, we've got more things in this box. Wait for it. Hold it. Okay, something small. I told you we were going to have fun. So this, I have no idea what it is. You're doing this with me. Is it Christmas? Nah. It's just, oh, ooh, this is really nice. Okay, this is a little hint. This is obviously a strap. So then this, and again, just because I like to highlight everything, you can see that it comes in this wonderful bag. You know what I use these bags for? I tend to use these bags for like laundry. Like if I'm doing an overnight or two, they make great laundry bags. Do not throw them out. They're very nice. Okay, oh. So in all fairness and transparency, when Ryan and I were talking on the phone, we were talking about his inspiration of Bond. This was the piece that really got my attention because I love a good attaché case, as you know. I've done reviews on them, all different types, high end, low end, it doesn't matter. Even backpacks, I'm just fascinated by them. This is something different. This is a pad folio. Now, pad folios, interestingly enough, sort of get a bad name. They get a bad rap because very often it's just zip, two pieces of leather or one piece of leather come together. It's essentially a very stylized and fancy folder. Not this. This is part of the Bond line. Yeah, B-O-N-D. Again, this guy was so inspired by Bond. First of all, he's got the patented magnetic zipper. By the way, you know what I like about this? This zipper is how many times are you futzing? Yeah, I use the word futzing, look it up. Futzing with a zipper, or it gets caught on something, or it's all over the place. This stays perfectly done. Ryan is so into design, and Bond is all about design and aesthetics. You can't get away from it, but it has to have functionality. So first of all, just like the pad, but just like the Spectre one, you've got this. So instead of the attaché case top like this, you're holding it like this. So you can hold it against you as you're walking. It's extremely comfortable. You can't feel this over YouTube, but this is extremely comfortable. By the way, I'm seeing a zipper up top here, so we're going to explore it. It's just begging. Aha! This is a wonderful quick release. This is great for putting your wallet, your passport. Again, it's that kind of quick release type aspect. But it also, you can put this onto a suitcase. I know. And by the way, the strap that I had before, you can see that it's got the hooks here. I'm trying to show you everything. Let's open this puppy, shall we? Let's see what's inside. What's in the folio? What's in the, oh my gosh. Okay. Lots of goodies inside. We're going to get to those. But first, I want to show you this. Ah, this is why I kind of fell in love with this. There are many occasions, especially when I go to New York City. I have a lot of clients in New York City, a lot of friends in New York City. So I'll go in for what I call day trips. I'll get on the train, go there for an hour. Having a big attaché case is just a little, it's a bridge too far. But this, I can hold my computer in here. Ta-da! I can put my pen in here. I can put a stylus and another pen in here. But then check this out up top here. This is where it turns into James Bond, ladies and gentlemen. This is a series of different pockets, keychain holders. All of these are a little different. All of these are a different size. This is not one size fits all. And I love that there's little tiny hooks for your imagination because I have a lot of what I call EDC. It could be mints, it could be lip balm, which I feel like I need right now. But these are just so intuitive and interesting because it's a form and function of letting you get through the day with everything that you need in kind of a small arena and compartment. Edit. Now, one of the fun parts of this is going to be to customize it, to really understand what do I want to do with it. Now, there is, I would say it's almost like a cordovan. It almost looks a little brown. It's a cordovan, but I love the fact when Ryan and I curated this together, we talked about the whole idea of making sure that the colors all went together. And I love this color because it goes with some of my blue items. It's just a nice neutral color. But you should go on their website, link below, because there are so many different colors. And by the way, there is a button down here. This is about like Q Branch Discovery, when Q gives Bond his stuff and he sort of knows how it works and sort of doesn't, and he just discovers. There's a tab here that I just opened up, so you could do this. Wait for it. So what you've now done is now you can put this on a Globetrotter. You can put it up the luggage handle and it's not going anywhere. And again, this is something, take a look at how intuitive this is. Wait for it. I love that magnetic clasp. It's that thin. It's razor thin, but it can hold your computer. It can hold your papers. It can hold everything that you're going to need for the man about town, or the woman about town, quite frankly. I did notice, this is Ryan for you. He's like Q for my work necessities. There's 2 more small packages. Now, mind you, and I do want to say this, these would have come in boxes and beautifully wrapped. I think, because I said, please condense any items you send down here, and he kind of surprised me. Oh, okay. Again, another little bag. Look at that. More paper. By the way, the whole collection room smells like wonderful leather. Beautiful. Simplicity. Simplicity in its form. This is a pebbled wallet. Very simple pebbled wallet. You've got a lot of card holders here. You've got 1, 2, oh my gosh, 3, 4. See, this is what I mean by utility. 4 different areas. Please, people, do not turn this into a George Costanza wallet where it's exploding with receipts. Do something with your receipts. But this is so simple and, dare I say, see, I'm smart like this. Not really. But the more I play with this, I mean, I just got this, so it's just like getting a gift. But see how everything kind of fits together, right? Everything connects together extremely well. You can put these things in here. Now, I want you to see something. This right here is a very Q-like pull tab. What's it for, David? Don't keep us in suspense. When you pull it up, it actually will pull up the item that's in here. See that again? So I want to push it down. See how it's pushed down? And if you have something a little bit shorter, you can pull that up. Could be anything. Could be cards. Could be whatever. See that? It actually is just a simple pull rig that actually gets the piece out of that pocket. As I'm sitting here doing this, I'm discovering things. But there's something else. Ryan, you spoil me. Go check out his website. You will get a kick out of it. There's going to be way too many things that you want. And again, I hate to keep going back to minute 1 of this video, but the reason I get excited about this, these are Bond fans that they're designers. There's no other way around it. They are designers and they design things, but to use James Bond in kind of thinking about Bond and what would Bond use? I mean, what would he really use as a part of practical wear and tear in the field? It's these type of things. Wow, this is just smoother than a baby's bottom, as they say. It is a wallet. Oh, very nice. Now, it's got the same type of interior, that cordovan sort of oxblood interior as my Padfolio. But this This has, it's got the same type of pull tab. And again, I do not know how this works right now, but I believe what it does is it opens things up and brings them out. So I'm gonna have to play with this. Very nice though, super smooth. I'm liking a couple things. Obviously the functionality of these things, the hand is very nice. You can see how these kind of all come together as an accoutrement, but I love the functionality. I can't get away from the fact that design and style meeting function is a part of who James Bond is. The fact that this is something that he would actually utilize and you could see in a movie, for example, I think just hits home. The homage of Spectre and Bond and that type of naming, I think all of this just encapsulates a really cool Bond designer inspiring moment. What's that? We have a third. Yes, we do. Atelier Ishtornino. Atelier Ishtornino. I've only been practicing that pronunciation for a month, but it is the pronunciation of the next company. This one's a really interesting one, and well, it's got a story to it, as they all do. The designer and founder of Atelier is named Hugo, and he's become quite an interesting gentleman that we've communicating back and forth. Talk about inspiration. I mean, he not only gets inspired by Bond, but very often by the creator of Bond and his company, which is based in Portugal. Many of the items are made in Portugal, really grab onto this whole essence of old world charm and craftsmanship married to modern sensibility and design. So this way, yes, it looks like something from the 40s and 50s and even 30s, but it's something that is made, it's durable, has modern synthetics that would be of the period today. And I'm soaking in it. Not literally, but I am wearing the Fleming. Now clearly, this is and seeks and has found inspiration from Ian Fleming in the many clothing items that he wears, but in particular, he has this top that he wears in interviews, he wears in GoldenEye. It's got a generous bicep right here, kind of an elongated sleeve past the mid bicep. You can see right here, I'm going to stand to the side as I normally do. Please stand up straight, David, shoulders back, like you're proud or something, I don't know. But you can see that this size small fits my body extremely well. This is the right size for me. It's not shrink wrapped. It shouldn't be shrink wrapped. It's got some generous room in it, but look at the flow of this. I'm doing this like I'm windswept for a reason. This is made out of a combination of cotton and viscose. And viscose allows a little bit of not just durability, but stretch. What that also does for you is sometimes cotton and even linen sometimes can be a little hot. It's a little like it doesn't breathe in the summer. And as I'm looking outside when I'm recording this, it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit. She is a warm. This keeps me cool. Now you're saying, well, how do you know, David? Because I wore the Fleming shirt in a different color. This is a midnight blue, a navy. I wore this version, hold on, check it out, in my European gatherall. I thought it looked like something from The Man with the Golden Gun. I wore it with a pair of linen pants, and it was hot in the south of France where I wore it, and it performed beautifully, moved very well. By the way, tons of compliments. People got it right away, whether they were style people or Bond lifestyle people, it didn't matter. They got right away. They're like, that's a Fleming shirt, isn't it? I'm like, yep, it's got the pockets down here that are working and open up. It's got the pockets up here. But you can even see this camp color notching has a slightly larger collar than would be in the normal modern sensibilities, giving you a little bit of that throwback to Ian Fleming and his moments at GoldenEye. I'm excited about this company doing this, not just because there's a Bond fan at the core. I mean, Hugo is a Bond fan, but because I've been saying for years, I've been nearly begging the companies that I know, make a Fleming shirt. Every Bond fan, every literary Bond fan in the world will want one of these. People that smoke cigars, people that just want to be comfortable in walking around. And by the way, I tied this with a light colored, stone colored chinos just so you could see the color contrast, but also just to see the comfort level. I mean, this is the type of thing you're walking around at a summer garden party, you're talking to people. There's no constricting or anything like that. I know I usually wear things fitted to show off any kind of a semblance of the hashtag Bond Fitness Challenge, but this is not that. This is just nice and billowy, and you can sit down and you can, movement wise, I mean, it's all there. Hiya. What am I doing? I have no idea. But it has great range of movement. Now, Atelier, Hugo, could have stopped there, but this is a gentleman, this is a company that is born out of the inspiration of Bond. So he has something else. Ta-da! Like magic. This, let me come up close so you can see the details. Look at those stripes. This is affectionately called the Connery seersucker shirt. It is, I'll get up nice and close, you could see that is seersucker. It's like a traditional seersucker. You can see versus the Fleming that I just showed you, the biceps are slightly tighter, but they're not tight. They are not tight, but they hug a little bit more and they come up a little bit higher. So just FYI as far as fit. It's got the camp collar. It's got sort of just maybe 3 to 4 inches below the belt cut. It's got these notches on the side, okay? The fit is a size small on my 41-inch chest, and it fits perfectly. It does have that generous cut. It's not going to be shrink wrapped on you. It's not spray painted on you. It's very important to kind of note that because these are to be made in the warmer weather. And seersucker, even though it's 100% cotton, it breathes very well. It's this little dimpling. I don't know if you can even see it, but it's this little dimpling of the fabric that makes seersucker have this like honeycomb like feel in hand. But this, there's seersucker, darling, and there's seersucker. This is the latter. This seersucker is incredibly comfortable. Now, you've seen me review different Thunderball Connery shirts. You have seen me. In fact, I've got 3 other versions in my wardrobe. There is a hand to this that is incredibly soft. Even the buttons, this faux mother of pearl, they're incredibly high density. The fit on here, though, is superlative. I mean, and again, I'm walking, why am I walking in around? Am I just trying to pantomime for you? No, I'm trying to show you that in the free end of movement of these types of clothes, they're very usable. It's not just saying, hey, look at me. I'm a fan of Connery's Thunderball. It's not that. Hugo, the designer, said, yes, I'd love to do a Connery-esque thing, but I'm not going to have, for example, the stripes as wide. And these are thinner. This is more traditional, kind of that seersucker suit that you would find in Kentucky, but it needs to be comfortable. I need to wear it. Other people need to wear it. It needs to have a human approach to it. And that's the nice aspect to all these. Motivated by Bond or Bond's creator or Bondish people, but coming back to the whole idea that it needs to be for everyone. It can't just be for James Bond. It has to be for the individual that wants to use high-end deluxe garments like this. I spy with my little eye something else. I am so digging this. I hope you can appreciate just how ivory this is. It's not white, it's an off-white. And somebody who usually, I mean, I have a little bit of color on me now because it's summertime and I just came back from the Italian Riviera in the south of France. I've got a little bit of color, but usually I'm pretty pale. So white or ivory tends to look a little strange on me. By the way, I'm going to take this off because this is ruining the color look. I'm going to hold it because I need you to see the color of this other piece by Atelier. And Atelier put together this, which is a little bit more traditional, what I'm used to for some of the brands that you know and love. This is a terry cloth shirt, terry cloth polo with a very unique collar. It's kind of like that Johnny collar, but it's got a really significant overlap, as you can see there. It's got a nice kind of scalloped, and this hits high on the bicep. I know a lot of you like that. It does hit high on the bicep, not too high, it's not turning into like a tank top or anything like that, but it's got a nice high bicep look, hits the mid center of the bicep. I've got to talk to you about the cloth itself because again, all these items that I'm talking about are a size small. All right. This does not fit tight on me. It has that same, I'm going to call it sensible. It's not a billowiness, although that's probably a word, but the fit of it is not constricting. I know so many of you are like, David, that polo is too tight. This, you can see on my chest, fits just right, but it's got room and movement. I could see myself sitting down in a car, etc., putting my hand in my pocket, and it's got really good flow to it. But a part of that is describing something that you could not tell in a video, but I've got to talk to you about. This terry cloth is about half the width. I'm not exaggerating. Half the width of the ones that you and I own from other companies. By the way, other companies that we adore and love. But this is an important distinction because some people wear the toweling polos and they feel like it's a little warm. I mean, it is like wrapping a towel around you, which sometimes can be a little warming in the summer. What Hugo did was he took down this to half the width. So this is, you see how it's moving like this? Terry usually doesn't move like that. Because of the thinness of this, it's still very strong, the fabric, but it's got a lightness to it and it breathes extremely well because of that. I love the color. I'm so glad he didn't go for a stark white or too much. It's almost like this, it's almost like an eggshell. I know, crazy. But you can see the fit of it is very complimentary. I'm digging this one. But there is one more that I'm leaving for the very last thing because for me, this last one takes Bond, takes everything that we've heard that is revolutionary from these designers, the inspiration, and marries it to some schnook in the Bond community. What am I talking about? Let's see. Let me back up so you can see this. So what you're looking at right now is a navy terry shirt. Sounds simple enough, right? The terry is the same type of terry as I just talked to you about. It is that lightweight terry. It's a lightweight terry. It's half the width of some of the toweling polos that you have. You can see that it hits mid bicep. All right. You can see that it's got the camp collar here. And this is a full button down. I'll come up close so you can see the buttons. They're absolutely beautiful. There are these kind of chestnut colored buttons, absolutely beautiful. I believe they import them in from Italy, and this is of course all made in Portugal. But what you're seeing, and I'll turn to the side so you can see this, is a little bit more of a fit that's akin to how I'm used to wearing it, how David Zaritsky wears his polos, which is a little bit tighter in the chest, a little bit tighter in the waist. You see it doesn't have all the give that the other one does, but it has a little bit of give. It's not shrink wrapped on here. This thing is so soft and comfortable. Is it the most comfortable terry polo I've ever put on? It actually is. And that is because of the hand of this is very smooth. It doesn't, this won't do it justice, but this midnight blue navy here is so dark, it's probably almost transferring as black on some of your, I was going to say TV sets. Way to date yourself, David. On some of your computers and your phones, but it is this sumptuous dark navy. I'm loving the collar. Again, a little bit bigger than, modern, which kind of is that throwback because these are supposed to look like they are from the 1950s, 1960s. You can imagine these in the French Riviera, the Italian Riviera. You can imagine these at GoldenEye. You can imagine these actually on James Bond, even a new James Bond. Could you imagine just, the new James Bond, he sort of walks onto the scene. He's just come from a lunch with a beautiful woman. He's about to talk to the bad guy, and the bad guy's coming up the beach, and he says to Bond, "Mr. Bond, I believe," and Bond says, "You're expecting somebody else?" I mean, this shirt just screams that. Now, the reason this shirt's my favorite is not just because of the way it fits. It's got it's got the way things fit that way that I like. It's got the way they fashion, the style, the function of it, the feel, all the many F's that I've always come up with over the years. It has all of those and checks them off, but there's a reason for that. Hugo actually used David Zaritsky, used me as the style inspiration. So you saw the Fleming one, he used Ian Fleming. You saw the Connery one, he used Sean Connery. This one he designed around my preferences, David Zaritsky, and it's called the Zaritsky Terry Polo. I kid you not. Go to his website right now, the link is below. It's called the Zaritsky. Now, he contacted me a while ago and said, I'm designing this. This was even before it was a thing. He said, I'm designing this. I know how you like it to fit in the pecs and in the sides. And he went through everything. And I'm like, wow, you are actually listening to my videos on how I wear things. He goes, I know how your bicep hits and how you like that. I want to design a polo around you. I want to use you as the inspiration. He was so wonderful in the conversation and authentic too. Just very authentic in his design sensibility. And I've always said this about the Bond lifestyle. The reason why there's so many of you out there, and me included, is because we do take style cues and emulation from other people. And he decided to take Fleming, Connery, and this fan guy, David Zaritsky, to design some of his clothing. And this is now the result. This is the Zaritsky Terry Polo. It's available in two colors, that ivory color that I showed you before, and this navy, and I love it. And I'm flattered, of course, but I also love the fact that he basically took something that was in my head and in my words and in the videos, and he transformed it. And I know that sounds like a dramatic word, but he transformed it into a garment that I would be very proud having my name associated with. And so here it is. Here it is, something that you can own yourself. But I dare say, name aside, because I think I know how many of you like things to fit and the feel and this ridiculous terry hand and softness, this Zaritsky Terry Polo, whatever you want to call it, you can call it your own last name, I don't care, is going to be one of your favorites. It's going to be one of your go-tos. I know it's going to be a staple in my wardrobe. I know it already. So I am absolutely digging this. Hugo, I'm flattered, I'm honored. Thank you so much. All these designers that we've talked about today in this video, who's we, David? It's just you talking, that I've talked about in this video today, they started out with Bond. They moved and intertwined that with their own personality, their own little DNA, their own fingerprints, if you will, on what they wanted to do. And they translated it into something that we could all enjoy as Bond fans. I love that they did this. How inspiring is this to us as even creators? You know, we're saying like, oh, there's not a lot out there. There's not a lot of movie talk. There's not a lot of this and that. But you see these individuals who are creating these things from nothing. It's springing up out of the ground, out of their minds, out of their imagination, and using Bond or Bond creator or even Bond content creators as inspiration is just refreshing. It's new, it's unique. It's very much today. It's very much of this time, using such a traditional character like James Bond. And I applaud them all for it. So there you go. If you want to investigate them a little bit more or their items that they've created, links are below. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's something different, right? Something refreshing. And speaking of refreshing, there's a cold drink waiting for me upstairs. I'm going to keep wearing my Zaritsky Terry Polo, and I will talk to you all soon. This has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. See ya. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.